The Chicago Bulls find themselves going against the Oklahoma City Thunder right after a huge win against the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's talk about a few keys to victory here and even kind of recap some things that led to a victory against the Milwaukee Bucks that could lead into a dominant win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's see, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy Pkidd. This is Chicago Bulls Breeze. Only channel talking Chicago Bulls, has Chicago Talks. You know who I am. You know what we do. Get in tune, baby. Listen, let's cut to the chase and get to the video. At the end of the day, the Chicago Bulls have the opportunity, despite the way the schedule looks, to go on a nice little run. What I'm seeing is, yeah, first game was a little rocky, turnover, stuff like that. But we got to see glimpses of, hey, this team may have something here. It came together against the Milwaukee Bucks. We was like, oh no, this team is legit. We got some real hoopers here, and we're starting to change the identity of the Chicago Bulls. So that leads me into the first key. What is that? What was the identity? Well, last season, even the season before, we weren't known as a good three-point shooting team. Many people would say, they take them, they don't really hit them. Well, we not only hit them at a strong clip last game, we've actually kind of shown that we're willing to take more of them as well. I think Pat will even tell you that we played 90s basketball or 2006 basketball in 2024, where the Bulls look like a different team from that aspect. And you really can't see if you'll make more if you don't take more. And we're starting to take more. And when you shoot the three ball at nearly 40%, good things can happen. Even if you don't win, it's a competitive game. It's a close game. It's a more modern game for sure. And that's what we got to see. And we got to see some of our premier players, and Kobe White go off. I think he was 7 of 13. That's 21 points simply from him alone from three. And the rest of the team didn't shoot bad as well. So shooting 40% or better from three is listen, you're guaranteed to be in the conversation of having a strong dub. Like real talk, 40% from three is great for any team. If you lose shooting 40% from three and you've taken a healthy amount of threes, shake that other team's hand and just move on to the next one. That's just a good game. Real talk. But that is one of the things that's going to lead us into, again, not only being competitive against teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, but definitely standing a fighting chance against teams like SGA, who maybe they don't have as strong of a post presence. Depends on how you feel about Chet. I think Chet is a really good player, but some people think he can be exposed. I do think Vooch can take advantage of that, but we'll get to that in just a second. But a team like that, if you can force them to now guard you heavily at the perimeter, that leaves the cup open for a lot of slashing and a lot of even potential post play from our big like Vooch, who's still a double-double king. I don't care what nobody say. Still one of the best bigs skill-wise in the league. Argue with your mama. But that leads us to our next one. Talking about skill. It is a skill to protect the basketball, especially on every level. If you can protect the basketball and get your offense running, that in itself is worth its weight in gold. And that's what the Chicago Bulls did against the Milwaukee Bucks. That will help them definitely dominate this particular game. The Chicago Bulls had less turnovers than the Milwaukee Bucks. They took care of the basketball, where as opposed to the first game where Zach alone had 7 turnovers, the entire Chicago Bulls team had 9 turnovers from one source, 10 if you ask ESPN. Go argue. I don't know why this is. It's always the difference between NBA and ESPN. But either way, having a game where you protect the basketball and you're now being and you're shooting efficiently from three. Oh Jesus! Now you got the secret sauce to now actually being a good team. You have the secret sauce of being dominant because hey, if you're not turning the ball over and you're taking high quality shots and making high quality shots, listen, it's just a simple matter of are your guys better than mine at that point? There's no real gap there, and so I love that, and that's going to be the next key. If we can eliminate the turnovers and keep those turnovers under control and force OKC into some forced turnover situations to where they're playing uncharacteristic basketball, because we still do have somewhat of a defensive presence here. It's not the same without Alex and things of that nature, but we're not a slouch. Considering what's considered defense now, we're not a slouch. So I love to see that, and if that is one thing we can do, we can actually win this game. Now, how do you do that? How do you go about forcing them into uncharacteristic things? Well, you may not be able to contain SGA. I'm not going to sit there and say you can do that. Whoever's sticking him is about to have a long day. It just is what it is. It's going to be a tough day. But whoever is sticking Chet, especially the way you guard him, and how he plays, you may actually be able to contain and force some things there because Chet is 1A, 1B in this particular situation. He is the Batman to SGA's Rob. I mean, SJ Superman rather. If you can contain him and force him into some situations where you know what they're making uncharacteristic passes, we're able to play those passing lanes or cut off those passing lanes, things of that nature. If we're able to put him in uncomfortable positions, that could cause a large disruption on their end, leading us to successful basketball. I'm pinpointing. If I'm the Chicago Bulls, I'm heroing in on Chet. Chet's gonna have to beat me. I'm Chet. I listen. Chet's just gonna have to be. Chet's gonna have to have a dominant game against me. SGA, he gonna do what he gonna do. But Chet's gonna have to beat me. We gonna sit there and focus on him and take him away, eliminate him, and see what else happens. Because realistically, they're very top heavy, and I felt like that, especially since they made some moves. Not having Josh Giddey there, meaning that they still have to rely a lot on SJ being a primary guard there. I think that actually hindered them more than helped them. Although I know they made other moves, I'm still leery about that. But again, let's yet to be seen. But herring in on Chet, making life tough for him, putting him in uncomfortable situations, forcing him to pass the ball back out when he's not on the paint or on a block, actually forcing him to actually put the ball on the floor. I know he does have handles, but it ain't, to me, his handle ain't there. He ain't Kevin Durant out there just yet. He will be. He will get there one day. I do believe that he will develop a skill set. Not today, though. So I think that we have the defenders to actually make life very interesting for him, and those are the keys right there. And so those are the two things. If we can actually, again, control our turnovers, keep the turnovers under 10 like we did, and actually take care of the ball. And if we can still shoot the three ball at a high clip, there's no reason why we can't at least make this game very competitive, if not dominate and win. Those are my thoughts. I want to hear yours. Let me know what your thoughts are as we get into this next hour, waiting for the game. Also, if you're having issues watching the game, please hit the link in the description. This will be shown on playback. I too have had some issues watching the game in real time. I couldn't watch the first game in real time. Couldn't even watch the Bucks game in real time. I had to watch it back later. Listen, we all know it's a very interesting time to be a Bulls fan from that aspect, but we got you covered here on Chicago Bulls Breeze and the Windy City Breeze. So listen to the game and listen to it on playback. All the instructions will be in there. Listen, if you have YouTube TV, whatever your service provider is, things like that, all you do is log in with that. There's no blackout games. Don't worry about it. Get the games there. I'll be in there as well. The boys over there from the Windy City Breeze, Pat the designer, and his little bro, B Dub Brandon, they're gonna be over there live calling that joint. Well, not live calling, more like watch party, but it'd be something good for you all to tune into if you're having a hard time watching the game. Get into it with us, man. Listen, whether it's love or it's hate, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.